everybody, Simistic here to do a recap on this year's Halloween Horror-Thon. I watched a ton of great titles this Halloween season. In years past, I have tried to do 100 titles in 31 days. Some years I succeeded, some years not so much. This year I knew that wasn't going to happen. Same thing with last year. Last year was actually the first year I was doing these videos. And I knew that there was no way in hell I was going to be able to do these videos and watch 100 movies in 31 days. So last year, actually, what I did was I started on September 1st and went to October 31st. And I met my goal. I actually watched 101 titles in the 2 months. This year, I didn't really want to do that because I'll admit, even though I love horror movies, I love Halloween titles. They're just so great. Horror movies are definitely my all-time favorite genre of movies. Even though I love them so much, by October 31st last year, I was just really in the mood to watch something not Halloween related. I was getting really just fed up with horror movies, which is not something I normally say. And I didn't want to do that to myself this year. I didn't want to get... I hate the idea of being sick of horror movies. That is not like me to say something like that and to feel that way. So I didn't want to do that to myself this year. And I decided what I'm going to do from now on is start on the first day of fall and then go to October 31st. I figured that would be a good time period to watch Halloween-related titles and do my Halloween Horror-Thon. So that was what I started this year and what I'll be doing every year from now on. So of course this year I didn't meet a goal of 100 movies, but I didn't actually give myself a goal. I figured I would just watch however many titles I got around to watching. And I did check out quite a few. This year's a little bit different for me as well. A lot of years I watch a lot of the same movies, or a lot of movies that I consider to be classic movies that I watch every single year. And then throughout there I throw in some new stuff that I haven't seen as well. This year, not so much. I only watched maybe, off the top of my head, I can only remember 4 titles that I've seen before. There might have been like maybe 5, 6 titles, something like that I've actually seen before. All the rest of the titles this year were all new titles that I have never checked out before, which is not the norm for me. It's not what I normally do, but I did want to do that this year because over the last year, I picked up a ton of horror movies that I kind of set aside, movies that I really wanted to watch, but I said, no, I'll get to them this Halloween season. And since I had so many built up, I just didn't get around to watching some of the more classic titles. I mean, things like Young Frankenstein, which is my all-time favorite movie, I didn't watch this year. Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses. Love those 2 movies. I didn't watch those this year. There were just a lot of real classics that I just didn't get around to watching because I was busy watching all new titles, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not complaining. I watched some really, really good movies this year. For instance, Let Me In. I thought that was fantastic. One of the best movies I've seen this year. And also, The Innkeepers. That's one of the best movies I've ever seen. That's probably going to go on my list of all-time favorite horror movies. That movie was just so good. Probably in the top 5 best movies I've watched all year, I would definitely say The Innkeepers is in. That was just a really, really good movie. So I definitely watched some real good titles this Halloween season. So I don't really have anything against the fact that I didn't watch some more classic titles that I'm used to watching. You know, I'll get to them next year. Maybe I'll just watch them just throughout the year in general. I don't necessarily need to watch them during the Halloween season. So I definitely watched some really, really good titles, and I'm very excited about this year's Halloween Horror-Thon just because I got some great, great titles out of the way, and I'm very excited for all the great stuff that I watched. So let's take a look at everything I watched this year. High Spirits. This was a movie I used to watch all the time as a kid. John Carpenter, which is a documentary about John Carpenter. Prince of Darkness. Since I did just get done watching the John Carpenter documentary, White Noise. This was not that good. Recycle. And this I really enjoyed. It was a movie that offered something different, Maniac Cop. And this was a great film. Hell of a lot of fun. Maniac Cop 2. As you guys know, yesterday I watched Maniac Cop, and I loved it. Psycho Cop. And as you guys know, over the last 2 days, I watched Maniac Cop and Maniac Cop 2, The Reaping. And this was not really all that good. The story, When a Stranger Calls Back. The sequel to the original When a Stranger Calls. And Halloween Cartoon Collection from Mill Creek. This I've been dying to check out. Phantom of the Opera, the 1929 reissue with commentary. Roseanne, Tricks and Treats. This year being the Mill Creek release, not the Anchor Bay release. Chud 2, Bud the Chud, which comes in this Horror Collection 8 movie pack. Quack Pack, House of Haunts. I'm a huge fan of Quack Pack. Love this great The Invisible Man. I love this film. It is great. But The Invisible Man returns. And unfortunately, it was kind of boring. Nicktoons Halloween. And I actually finished this one up. I started it at work and decided to finish Sleepaway Camp 4, The Survivor. And oh my god, was this ever horrible. The Innkeepers. And I came very, very close to not buying this movie today. Never Sleep Again, The Elm Street Legacy, and his name was Jason. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different. Dark Shadows. And I was extremely pleasantly surprised by this one. Going to Pieces, The Rise and Fall of the Slasher Film. This is another great documentary that I usually end up. Halloween 25 Years of Terror. A fantastic Halloween documentary. Ticks. This is something I've been wanting to watch ever since I first picked this up, because I remember when I got it, a lot of people have Hatchet 2. This I was definitely looking forward to checking out, because I really enjoyed Frankenweenie. The original Frankenweenie short. I am horrified to think of all the people at The Dead. A very mediocre zombie movie. A movie that unfortunately was extreme. Goosebumps. Shocker on Shock Street. And as I've said many a times, I'm just The Innkeepers. But this time with commentary. Now I know what you're thinking, didn't I just watch this movie last? Mother's Day, the classic 1980s Mother's Day. Very excited to finally Goosebumps, Scary House. And I'm not really going to review what this is. I'm not Let Me In. And this was fantastic. I had heard a lot of good reviews on this. Shaun of the Dead. This is a movie I watch every year in October. Goosebumps, Chillology. This, once again, is more Goosebumps. I don't really feel like Great books. Frankenstein, The Making of the Monster. This here is one that I watched. The Raven. And this movie pretty much lived up to all the reviews I've heard of this movie. The Mist. A movie I have seen before. A movie I absolutely love. But this time around, I actually watched the black and white version. Scary Godmother, Halloween Spooktacular. This here is a Halloween special I watch every single year. Prometheus. And this I actually really enjoyed. Thought it was a great movie. Let the Right One In. Now, my thoughts on this movie might be the unpopular Scary Godmother, The Revenge of Jimmy. This year being the sequel to Scary Godmother, Halloween Spooktacular. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, which comes in this 4 horror comedy collection set that I picked up yesterday from Walmart. Elvira's Haunted Hills. Yep. Boo Busters. And this is a great little VHS tape. Comes with 1 episode of Goo Troop and another episode of Chippendale's Rescue Rangers. Innocent Blood. And it's about time that I finally checked this movie out. It's one I've been wanting to see for a good long while now. Follow That Goblin. This year being a claymation Halloween TV special. And it's Deep Star 6. This one I've been dying to see ever since I picked it up. It just looked to be a great movie. Halloween is Grinch Night, which I have in this Dr. Seuss's Holiday on the Loose pack. And it is also available Bloody Birthday. This was a fun movie. The plot was pretty zombie Dawn of the Dead. This year being the European Dario Argento cut of the Dawn of the Dead movie. Trick or Treat. This here is a Halloween classic. Personally, I feel this is the best Halloween. The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra. This is another great film. If you are a fan of just cheese, How to Make a Monster, and Blood of Dracula, which comes in this Samuel Z. Arkoff collection called Classic Set. Halloween, obviously. Decided today to sit down and check out my Criterion Collection Laserdisc release. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. One of, if not the best Halloween special ever made. So that's it for all the titles I watched during this year's Halloween Horror-Thon. Hope you guys had a great time watching all the reviews. I know I had a fantastic time making them and also a blast watching all the movies. And I'm already looking forward to next year's Halloween Horror-Thon. But coming up soon will be nothing but Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's titles. That will be starting on Thanksgiving Day and going all the way up to New Year's Day. Definitely excited for that, and I'll see you all real soon.